Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert. Today we are talking about what's been going on with Genesis, who have stopped withdrawals, and what this means for the cryptocurrency markets. This is definitely going to impact different centralized exchanges like Gemini, but we'll discuss that today. We're also going to take a look at what else has been going on in the markets. We've got FTX obviously still on trial this week, so we're learning more about that. We're also seeing what the CFTC have been up to and lots of other things as well. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end of today's stream to catch up with what's going on here. First of all, let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin. We are currently sat at $26,870 for Bitcoin, up slightly, up 0.34% within the last 24 hours. But let's look at these bigger gainers. Rune is up 10.27%. If we take a look at this, it's really seen a nice sharp move to the upside after having that move to the downside slightly yesterday. This is the daily chart here, and you can really see it's building a sort of level of support at these points here. Obviously, this is a low cap a mid cap altcoin, we could say. What ranking is Rune currently? Let's see if we can find it. Rank 77, so a mid cap altcoin. Even some people would even call that a high cap. I would say high cap altcoin is between 1 and 20. Mid cap is 20 to 100, and low cap is below that. But I think that's up to discretion, really. Let's see what else is going on though. Let's take a look at the other biggest gainers of the day. Also, if you've not checked out Crypto Saving Expert, go to cryptosavingexpert.com, and this is where I am. I'm on the markets tab here, and you can check out what's going on with your favorite cryptocurrencies. You can make portfolios, you can favorite your favorite cryptocurrencies, and lots of other good stuff. Here we have Trust Wallet's token up almost 4%. Neutrino up 3.83%. That is the one that I want to discuss with the team. I'm going to actually drop that in just a second. This is currently trading at different levels. I need to send that to the team of Crypto Saving Experts so we can get this bug fixed. Let's see if we can do that. While I do that, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's see what else is in the biggest gainers of the day here. Hello, Robert. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, feeling a little bit better, but not perfect. Hopefully I'll recover over the weekend and then we can hit the ground running again on Monday. What have we got here? We've got Ethereum Wrapped up 3.5%. What's going on here? Let's take a look at this. This is not Ethereum Wrapped. This is Ethereum Proof of Work. So this is the token that continued after Ethereum merged from Proof of Work to Proof of Stake. This has absolutely plummeted. We can obviously see here the initial plummet, and it's just continued to go down and down and down and down, almost at an all-time low here. A lot of people were counting on this when Ethereum first merged. There are a lot of people, including myself, that see the benefits in proof of work over proof of stake. We are now facing issues with centralization for Ethereum. However, holding on to these tokens has historically not been one of the best decisions, and you can see that so far this has not been performing well. Let's continue on to the cryptocurrency news though, and see what else is going on today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button. It is Friday, so finish off your week learning about the cryptocurrency space. Stay up to date with what's going on in the cryptocurrency news. We do these live streams every single weekday, keeping you up to date with what's going on, and I would like to say that is one of the best ways to stay in touch with the cryptocurrency space. I know the markets aren't that interesting at the moment. I know it's very, very difficult to see the fun in cryptocurrency at the moment when Bitcoin is just going sideways, but we're trying to keep cryptocurrency entertaining during this period of time, and those of you that listen throughout the bear market and educate themselves throughout the bear market are the ones that are lining themselves up perfectly for a successful bull market when it finally does arrive. So make sure to tune in every single day here on the live streams at Crypto Saving Expert. We are also live on Twitter right now, and we will soon be streaming to other platforms like TikTok and Instagram as well when we've figured those out. So make sure to stay tuned here. Let's check that everything's running smoothly. Let's take a look at what's going on with this news. Everything looks like it's great on my end. What have we got today? Genesis has halted withdrawals. Now, this is a cryptocurrency broker, Genesis. Now, a lot of you that have been watching the live streams for a while will know what's happened with Genesis, but essentially, the main reason we need to care about Genesis at this point in time, I believe, is because Genesis's parent company is DCG. Now, DCG have obviously been in their problems. Genesis have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and Genesis are actually the company on which Gemini, the cryptocurrency exchange led by the Winklevoss twins, was generating their interest for their users. So it sounds a little bit complex, but when you get your head around it, it kind of makes sense. So what we've got is GCG, Genesis, Gemini. Now, Gemini is the cryptocurrency exchange by the Winklevoss twins that we all know and have heard of. It's seen as a very safe way to a safe centralized exchange, I would say. Obviously, you never know with these exchanges. We also am with FTX. But Gemini is seen as one of how would we describe it? It's seen as one of it's seen as one of the highest centralized exchanges, one that we believe we can trust. Obviously, I would like to say don't trust any centralized exchange, but Gemini it has this high profile because it's been created by the Winklevoss twins. And Gemini offered a service which was paying interest to its users. To generate that interest for its users, Gemini was actually getting that pot of money from its users, lending that to Genesis, and then earning interest on that loan and paying that back to their users. Now, this was all well and good. It was making interest for the users, exactly as they were all hoping for. But then, obviously, we saw some problems. DCG, the parent company of Genesis, was sued by the Winklevoss twins regarding an unpaid loan repayment to the exchange. And we'll actually run through the history of what's happened here. So first of all, the Winklevoss twins did sue Barry Silbert, the CEO of DCG. And we are seeing here, while attempting to come to a resolution with Genesis, the Winklevoss twins loaned Gemini $100 million as $900 million of customer funds remained locked in Genesis. So a huge amount of money from Gemini, the cryptocurrency exchange, was given to Genesis, and Genesis suffered extreme losses when FTX collapsed and were unable to pay back that loan. Now, while all of this has been going on and all of these problems have arisen, what we've seen is the SEC step in as well and say, wait, hold on a second, you shouldn't have been doing that anyway. So the SEC have stepped in a lot over the last couple of months. We all know that. And they've stepped in and said that the way many centralized exchanges are operating interest payments in the US is actually operating as a security transaction, and therefore these centralized exchanges are offering unregistered securities and are violating the laws within the US regarding the SEC and the transactions of securities. Now, there is in some way, I understand why the SEC is stepping in this kind of scenario rather than the other kinds of scenarios. With Ripple and XRP, I believe the SEC are wrong, and I believe we need some clearer transparency and guidelines to determine what's a security and what's a commodity. But the reason the SEC have stepped in with interest payments from centralized exchanges is that what happens is you deposit your funds onto the centralized exchange, like Gemini or like Coinbase or any other centralized exchange, and the centralized exchange actually do all of the hard work. They do all of the legwork to get you that interest payment. So that ticks off one of the clauses of the Howey test, which is what we use in the US to determine whether an asset is a security or a commodity. And that box isn't usually ticked with other questionable tokens or assets or transactions within crypto. So technically, I understand why the SEC could be going after these kinds of transactions and saying they are unregistered securities. There's still a debate to be had, though. As I always say, the Howey test, to me, when it comes to digital assets, is very subjective, and it's very hard to classify these transactions as a security or not. And we've seen those problems arise when the courts are disagreeing with the SEC, who are disagreeing with the CFTC. There are major problems in the US in terms of regulation. But what we are seeing here, back to the main point here, what we are seeing here is Genesis, a massive company that owe Gemini a huge amount of funds, did experience a huge amount of losses due to the collapse of FTX because they were overexposed to FTX, and now they have had to halt withdrawals. So all of those loans they've got and all of the deposits they've got have been paused in the accounts while they try and reorganize themselves and really decide what is going on there. So big news there, and it could really impact other companies, as you can see. We're still seeing the aftermath of FTX. FTX went down in November last year. It's now been 11 months since the collapse of FTX, and Genesis are now still dealing with the repercussions. They were too overexposed to FTX, and now they are having to halt withdrawals. So more problems down the line, and we may see some repercussions from Genesis halting withdrawals as well. As we've already said, Gemini were exposed to Genesis. Now Gemini have already been in conversations meetings with Genesis for the best part of the last year, trying to organize how they can get a repayment for that loan. But we will see this continue, and it may cause some ripples across the cryptocurrency space. So we will stay up to date with that, and make sure to tune in every single day to see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency space. We do these live streams every single day. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's see what else is going on here. My mouse is not working as it should in the last couple of days, and I have no idea why. It just won't click. It will move, but it won't click. Here we go. Anyway, we're on to the next story here. It's looking like it's just got a bit of dust on it, maybe. What have we got here? SBF tried to raise money from Saudi Arabia's prince to save FTX. So Ellison said SBF went to Saudi Arabia's crown prince, among others, seeking to raise funds. So SBF, the former CEO of FTX, the centralized exchange that failed back in November 2022. He is in court right now. He is on trial. He will probably be on trial for the next 5 weeks. And his ex-girlfriend / the former CEO of Alameda Research, another company that SBF was heavily invested in, has gone to trial and has spoken about what was actually happening behind closed doors with FTX and Alameda Research. And you can see here that she has been uncovering some of the secrets of SBF. It's been pretty interesting. So far, we've heard that SBF instructed her to try and sell Bitcoin at anything above $20,000, trying to suppress the price. We've seen that he was trying to send. Let's go back onto the cryptocurrency. If we type in SBF, I'll search on Crypto Saving Expert right now, and we go to the news tab, you can see there's a huge amount of stories here. I wonder if we go to all. Here we go, latest news. What have we got here? Let's actually go to the news section, because oh gosh, everything's going on. I'm getting a phone call at the same time. Let's see what's going on here. If we go to the news section of Crypto Saving Expert, which if you haven't gone and signed up to the website, I would definitely recommend you do so. We can see some of the recent stories of FTX. Caroline Ellison has admitted to crimes in testimony. We are seeing Alameda's Caroline Ellison accuse SBF of directing her to commit fraud. What else have we seen in the last couple of days? Have we got any more in here? SBF wanted regulators to target Binance. Alameda lost $190 million via 3 security breaches. FTX stolen assets linked to Russia-linked criminal groups. Lots of things have been uncovered in the last couple of days. SBF tried to raise money from Saudi Arabia's prince to save FTX. Let's talk about the most recent story now anyway. What happened essentially is FTX took user deposits from, as it's a centralized exchange, so users were depositing their funds in there to try and trade Bitcoin, trade altcoins, or just make transactions, or even just to hold their cryptocurrency. FTX was taking those funds and doing whatever they wanted with them, making donations, funneling it into Alameda Research, and using it in that company instead. All of these allegations have been made about what's actually been going on behind closed doors in FTX, and now we're finding out the truth from Caroline Ellison here. As I said, that is SBF's ex-girlfriend and the former CEO of Alameda Research. She has now uncovered that Sam Bankman-Fried went to Saudi Arabia's crown prince, among others, seeking to raise funds. So when problems first started to occur with FTX, I think Sam Bankman-Fried and many others behind the scenes in FTX knew that at some point, a huge amount of withdrawals were going to be made, and they need to be able to have enough liquid assets to facilitate that. They'd been using user funds in other payments, using it as capital to collateralize for loans, and loads of other stuff going on. And essentially, if a load of users tried to withdraw their funds at once, there was bound to be a problem because FTX did not have the liquid assets to facilitate those withdrawals. SBF would have known that. Everybody else in the company that knew about the problems that were going on would have known that, and they would have just had their fingers crossed that they did not see a bank run essentially on FTX. But Caroline Ellison has said here, Sam was trying to raise money from the Saudi prince. He went to the Middle East, but it was not successful. Instead, he said he met people from Telegram and wanted to make a big investment. Ellison also disclosed that SBF had considered going to Dustin Moskovitz, the billionaire co-founder of Meta and Genesis. However, they couldn't engage with Genesis as the lending company was also already pulling their loans made to Alameda Research then. So Ellison said Alameda managed to repay $5 to $10 billion in loans during the summer of last year, and most of the loans in November 22. However, they took over more loans than from FTX, basically customers' funds, to repay third-party lenders, a decision she said was directed by Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, Sam Bankman-Fried has previously blamed the fateful tweet by Binance CEO CZ for the collapse of FTX, and Ellison said the CZ's tweet was not entirely responsible for the collapse, rather the $10 billion Alameda borrowed from FTX. So she said CZ's tweet contributed. The main reason was Alameda borrowing $10 billion from FTX it couldn't repay. Now, just to re-jog everyone's memories of what actually happened here, basically CZ tweeted out just a couple of days prior to FTX's collapse, saying that Binance was going to sell all of their FTT tokens, and they were no longer happy with what was going on, basically behind closed doors. It was a tweet that you knew had more to it, but we didn't actually know what at the time. And CZ decided he was going to sell all of his FTT tokens. He didn't want anything to do with FTX or Sam Bankman-Fried. He made that clear in a tweet that, as I said, you could tell there was more to the story that he wasn't sharing with us, and that caused a lot of fear in the markets, caused a lot of people, first of all, it caused the price of FTT to dump, which is a massive problem, and it caused a lot of people to withdraw their funds from FTX. Now, why is the price of FTT dumping a problem for FTX? FTT was the token created by FTX, and it was basically the token for the centralized exchange. If you held FTT tokens, you could pay lower transaction fees on the exchange, and you could get other user benefits. I imagine you could get higher interest on your tokens that you are staking and such. That's the general thing we see for centralized exchanges. But with FTX and FTX were holding a huge amount of FTT tokens and using the value of those tokens as collateral for taking out loans. So that's a massive problem when the price of FTT dumps, because basically your collateral is worth like a fifth of what it did previously. So that is a massive problem. So when we saw FTT dumping, obviously it could have been triggered by CZ's tweets. Obviously, I believe it was, but you can't say it was. It definitely was. And then and she has also said Alameda was borrowing $10 billion from FTX. Obviously, that's going to come back to bite you here. So we can see here on 10th of October, Ellison admitted in court that she committed fraud, conspiracy fraud, and money laundering together with SBF and other top executives of both companies. And Ellison pleaded guilty in December last year and has collaborated with prosecutors to prove SBF is guilty. So that's what's been happening there. All very interesting stuff coming out here. Some of this stuff, it's still surprising me, and I feel like it shouldn't be at this point in time. We all know what kind of a man SBF is at this point, but there seems to be more every single day. I really do believe it's going to be an interesting 6 weeks. Now, I know a lot of people are getting pretty tired of hearing what's going on with FTX and SBF within the last couple of weeks, but this trial is really, really interesting. And this trial has got the attention of mainstream media, so it's definitely something that we should be keeping an eye on and learning about. So we will stay up to date with what's going on there at Crypto Saving Expert on these live streams. So make sure to stay tuned and make sure to follow along with the latest cryptocurrency news at cryptosavingexpert.com. James says, how's the cold? Late on. My mouse is really not working at all. Late on, and I can't see that word because the emoji is in the way. Yeah, feeling a little bit better today. Could be better, but was a lot worse. So hopefully over the weekend we'll get back to normal, and then we'll be able to kick the week off on Monday with some more crypto news. Let's see what's going on here. Jerome says, seems perfect for US president. Yes, it was also announced by Caroline Ellison on trial yesterday or the day before that SBF was planning to run for president in the United States. And that comment makes complete sense when you think about it. He was making huge amounts of donations to government people within the US. He was also trying to collaborate with the regulators in the US to make cryptocurrency to allow the space to grow in the US, but to specifically allow FTX to grow in the US and really put FTX at the forefront of the cryptocurrency space. He was really on a mission to go big here, and I don't think we realized how big he was trying to go. We've seen, obviously, Alameda Research. There was news yesterday that Alameda Research lost millions and millions of dollars due to security exploits. Let's see if we can find it here. $190 million via 3 security breaches, because the actual software development of these companies was done in a rush, because the obviously the priority for SBF wasn't to create these brilliant companies that would thrive and be here in the long term. It was to scale them as big as possible and get as big as possible and get as powerful as possible. We can see here Alameda lost $190 million because they tried to scale it too big and they didn't have enough time or enough employees to really work on the security of the business at Alameda Research. And with FTX, we can see similar. They tried to scale that as big as possible. They were throwing out donations left, right, and center. They were spending their money on sponsors left, right, and center because they wanted to scale as big as possible. Now, FTX was also working with the regulators in the state of New York literally days before all of this came out and FTX had to pause their withdrawals. And SBF was doing everything to create cryptocurrency regulation in the US, so definitely something that we were all backing at the time, but he was doing it in a way that would put FTX right at the front of the cryptocurrency space in the US, and that could have made it a leading company in the US had we not had this sort of bank run or this trigger to cause FTT to drop off and to unravel all of these problems. Now, this is something that obviously would have caught up with him, but it's interesting to see if it hadn't happened then, how long he could have continued to run this on for behind the scenes without us all being aware. Now, if he would actually try to run for president, that would have been absolutely crazy. Let's see what else is going on though. Let's move on from this story. We will come back to the FTX news very soon. We do these live streams every single weekday, so make sure to stay tuned. If you have not already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. We've got 20 viewers right now, so make sure to hit that like button. We've only got 10 likes on the stream so far today. Let's check out what's going on here. The CFTC, so the regulator of commodities in the US, have filed fraud charges against Voyager Digital's ex-CEO. So Voyager Digital is one of the companies that fell during 2022. It really was a domino effect in 2022, starting from May when UST pegged. That feels like it was years and years ago. It's been a really, really long year and a half since UST pegged. The bear markets go incredibly slow and the bull markets feel like they go incredibly quickly. CFTC has filed a complaint against the co-founder and former CEO of bankrupt crypto lender Voyager Digital. So what's happened here is what the CEO of Voyager Digital used lied to customers that their assets were safe, and Voyager operated as an unregistered commodity pool operator. What's going on here with the website? Let's see if we can fix this. Let's see if we can refresh that. I'm going to send that to the team there so they can get that fixed. We are still seeing a few little issues, but we are fixing this as much as possible. Obviously, we are a new website. If you've not checked it out yet, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com. We've worked for 2 years on this website, making it the best website possible. What we've got here is the latest cryptocurrency news, cryptocurrency guides, cryptocurrency courses, market data, and A to Z. So if you've got a word that you don't understand in the cryptocurrency space, in the investment space, go to the A to Z, give it a search, and there's a little small definition by me, a video, and we've got a full article going into more detail on every single word you could possibly think of in the cryptocurrency space on that tab there. Another tab, which is pretty new, that we haven't really discussed yet, is this deals tab at the top. Now, I know that when I sign up to a centralized exchange, I find it frustrating, and not frustrating, but I like to search through YouTube links, YouTube videos, trying to go into their descriptions to try and find a cryptocurrency influencer that has these centralized exchange links in their descriptions, because usually if you use one of their links rather than just going directly to the exchange, you get some benefits like a sign up bonus or some other things. And there's lots of different offers in here. You may get some discount on transaction fees. There's loads of offers in here for every centralized exchange, all in one place, so that you don't have to go rooting through the YouTube descriptions like I usually do, just to make it super easy. Obviously, these are all affiliate links as well, so it also supports us here at Crypto Saving Expert if you use those links, so make sure to check that out. James says in the chat, the market is heading for $26,900. We'll take a look at that. Later in today's stream, we will analyse the price of Bitcoin. We've got 2 news articles left today. What have we got here? Jerome says the portfolio is great. Use it every day. Yeah, we have added a portfolio tracker as well. If you create an account on Crypto Saving Expert, you can create a portfolio of your favourite cryptocurrencies. You can add some tokens, take away some tokens, and just keep track of your cryptocurrency portfolio all in one place. That is absolutely free to use as well. So make sure to check that out if you have not already, and it just keeps a track of your cryptocurrencies. Eventually, we will also have a app so that you can keep track of your cryptocurrencies on your mobile as well. Obviously, you can now on the web, but it would be nice to have an app as well. So that's coming very, very soon. The design team and the development team are working hard on that. But all of these projects are absolutely massive. We do all of this from scratch. I know a lot of people could have made a website similar to this on WordPress or other applications like that, but then you don't get we've really been able to make this from scratch and make it exactly as we've wanted to. We've not had any limitations because we've got a full development team that have made this from scratch. That's why it's taken us so long, but that is why it is going to be perfect when we've finished working on this. Let's see what's going on here. PG says, need the spot ETF to come out this week so I can win the 1 Bitcoin giveaway. What we want to see is the spot Bitcoin ETF applications. That is exactly what we all want. My mouse is actually acting up so much here. Let's see what else is going on here. What have we got? HSBC allows customers to settle mortgages and loans in cryptocurrency. So HSBC Bank has granted its customers the option to settle loan repayments in crypto. Now this is a pretty shocking article here. In a monumental step forwards for the relationship between traditional finance and crypto, HSBC recently announced it would allow customers to repay mortgage loans and personal loans in crypto. They are set for acceptance of BTC, ETH, BNB, XRP, Doge, and SHIB. Still, neither USDC nor USDT are accepted by HSBC, which would offer a significantly less volatile option to accept stablecoins pegged to USD. However, further cryptocurrencies may be added. So HSBC is no stranger to cryptocurrency. The bank has been one of the few active within the crypto space in recent years. They have an anti-crypto stance. In May 2021, the CEO said, given the volatility, we are not into Bitcoin as an asset class. If our clients want to be there, then of course they are, but we are not promoting it as an asset within our wealth management business. What we can see here is the banks also impose limits on its customers' cryptocurrency payments. What I believe these limitations are is they are limitations on, because banks have regulation they need to follow as well. We're all complaining about the regulation of the cryptocurrency space, but what we have here is the banks have their regulation and they're trying to abide by that by putting these limitations on. Let's see what's going on the chat here. What's going on? James says you never finish a live website. It goes on and on and on. We're on a mission. It's just going to be one thing after another. If we've got a list of ideas that we want to bring to the site, and it just gets longer and longer and longer. The development team look at us like, really, you're never going to stop. Let's see what else is going on here. Jerome says he thinks of dyeing his hair pink. Do it. If the spot Bitcoin ETF gets accepted, I want to see Jerome's hair pink. Let's see what else is going on. James says, just meet it halfway, plug it in and charge it. I've just charged it for about an hour before the stream because I did think that was the issue, but it doesn't seem to be the issue. Anyway, back to what's going on here. HSBC allowing customers to settle mortgages. I would be interested to know if they are letting people settle mortgages and loans in crypto, whether they are going to accept crypto as collateral for these loans as well. That would be what I'd like to say in the future. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news here. Terraform Labs files motion against Citadel. So Terraform Labs has filed a motion to obtain information from Citadel regarding the UST downfall. Well, this is funny. We've just been talking about this. Terraform Labs is attempting to clarify the UST depeg with Citadel Securities as the party it wishes to gain answers from. So that'll be interesting to learn more about this. UST, obviously, as I just said, happened a long, long time ago now. But obviously, there was a huge fallout from that. that, and it caused a domino effect in the cryptocurrency space and caused the price of Bitcoin to fall massively as well, and lots of other cryptocurrency related companies fell as a repercussion of that. Let's see what's going on here. Lee says CSE has until midnight to appeal the grayscale decision, presumably EST, so before 5 a.m. tomorrow. Yes, big news there. I'm very excited to see what's happened basically is the SEC have got until midnight, you're correct, and I do think it will be EST time as well, to appeal the decision. I don't think they can appeal at this point in time. I think big news is coming in. And why do we think the price of Bitcoin is falling? Because Bitcoin... see, now I'm having internet issues as well. It's always a problem here on the stream. It just never runs smoothly. Every single time there is an issue. I think I have less issues than Jordan. Maybe. I think Jordan's live stream always has a connection issue. So we're better than that. But still, there is always an issue in one way or another. My mouse is not working. I want to get a rectangle. Here we go. Let's talk about the levels of support and resistance on the price of Bitcoin right now. So we're looking at that $24,800 to $25,200 level there, acting as a level of support. The price of Bitcoin has dropped slightly within the last couple of days, but it's holding pretty strong right now. I don't think enough people are talking about this ETF news. What's going on here? James says mouse will be conflict with wireless Bluetooth if it matches mouse keyboard. It matches with my keyboard. I don't know what's going on. I'll try and fix it. It's Friday though, so that's a problem for the weekend. What can we see here? We've got a level of resistance that we're looking at, $28,140. We obviously have a level of resistance here as well. So let's draw that on. I'm looking at this point here, and I want to take that all the way up to, in fact, I would like to take that to that point there. So we're looking at the $28,100 level to $28,700 level. That's acting as a level of resistance right now. Obviously, we have that diagonal level of resistance as well. And then we have that level of support to be aware of. That has been acting as a level of resistance before, though. So I would say that's pretty strong. Now, we did see here that we could have a head and shoulders pattern, and I didn't want to say it because it is pretty negative and it is a Friday, but what we have here is the potential to have a head and shoulders pattern which could see us come down and retest that $20,000 level. So just be prepared for that, but spot Bitcoin ETF would be a lot more positive. So let's stay positive. It is Friday after all. Hopefully we see some nice price action. What I would like to see here is some nice movements to the upside before the CME closes tonight. That's very important. The Bitcoin CME is Bitcoin 1 exclamation mark. The CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It's operational Monday to Friday. It closes on a Friday, and if it closes, it creates a gap in the market that acts like a magnet for the price of Bitcoin. So what we don't want to see is a massive jump to the upside for the price of Bitcoin whilst the CME is closed, because it would create that gap that will act like a magnet to the downside. So hopefully we see a massive move to the upside before CME closes tonight, and then we see some sideways action over the weekend before we continue upwards. That would be the ideal scenario, but that would be the ideal scenario every Friday, unless some positive news comes in here. We may not see that. But that is all we have for today's stream, I believe. So thank you very much for tuning in. As always, make sure to go over to cryptosavingexpert.com and check it out, and check out our new merch store as well. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button. That's all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and we will be back here, not tomorrow, on Monday, with another live update. Let's see if I can turn the stream off because my